Welcome to quarter 3. My name is Duncan Carranza. I'm a middle school language arts humanities TOSA, and I just wanted to walk you through the resources that you can find in Atlas and in Canvas to support you and your students for the rest of this quarter. I'm going to use the 8th grade as an example, but you are here inside Atlas, probably where you found this video. You probably clicked on this link, quarter 3 overview video for teachers, which then opened up this page. And although this isn't a lesson plan, this is also where you'll find all of the lessons that I will write each week. They're just examples, they're models. You can feel free to use them, adapt them as you need for your students and your instructional preferences. But I just wanted to throw a couple ideas out there for you. In general, quarter 3 for 6th, 7th, and 8th grade will be fairly similar between the grade levels. My general themes for this larger quarter, we're going to split it into 2 mini quarters, so 2 half quarters. What we'll look for in the first half of this quarter, the general idea is, why are we doing this? Why should I learn how to read and write and speak well? What is the power of language arts? And culminating about halfway through, where students will be asked to wield the power of reading and writing and speaking with a little mini grasp. And then the second half of the quarter will be focused a little more on another reason why language arts is so great. That language arts is beautiful. It can identify beauty in the world and share it with others. And so we'll focus a little more on poetry, a little more on reading poetry, and students will then, at the end of the quarter, finish with another mini grasp that's a little more poetry focused. And we'll look through those in just a sec. Looking here again, just a few links for you that'll be helpful. A link to the Canvas Commons, where I publish every week all of the ready-to-go Canvas resources that are directly tied to the lessons in Atlas, and then both of the mini grasps assessments. Again, the grasps are just a little more real world, a little more interactive, a little more open-ended than maybe a standalone single assessment of a standard, although each of those grasps assessments will be able to assess and provide feedback for many of the priority standards found in these units for quarter 3. When you click on that first link for the Canvas Commons, you are brought to a page that should allow you to search. The fastest way that I've found out to describe where all of the resources that I'm building are within the larger Canvas Commons, it seems to just be easiest to search for my name. Bookmarking them doesn't always do the trick because they refresh weekly. For quarter 3, each of these new batches of resources have their own new home. They are labeled with a large Q3 in white over some space imagery, so not to be confused with quarter 2's, which was a little more pastel. So you're looking for Q3 this time. Make sure to save those, star those, download those so that you can use them with your students. Probably save yourself a little bit of time in creating your own Canvas resources from scratch. Going into one of those quarter elements will bring you to all of the weekly elements tied to the lessons that are in Atlas. So far, week 1 is ready to go. There are 3 elements for week 1, 2 discussions and 1 student assignment. Again, those you can copy and edit and manipulate as you see fit for your students and how you want to use them in your instructional plans based on your week schedule and all of that. So those are there for you to use. Opening up one of those, you will see again the title of the assignment or the title of the discussion, usually a GIF in there, a brief description with instructions for your students, often a link to a text for them to interact with, some prompts, and then space for them to complete their assignment and turn it into you. Again, moving back to this first kind of video landing spot. Again, I mentioned that the first half of the quarter is going to be more focused on what is the power of ELA, why would we do this, why do we read and write and learn to speak well. The assessment for that, we're calling it just a mid-quarter grasp, is going to be more focused on asking students to pick a topic of their choosing and then write kind of a mini argument, a mini letter to the editor, a mini blog post, a mini rant, and then either just publish it in terms of a text, so just as a Google Doc, or to make it a little more interesting and a little more interactive, and there's many examples of this online, but to actually record it as a video, probably as a Flipgrid, and then turn that into you so that their peers can see it. I think that would be really neat. For the end of the quarter, the second half of the quarter is going to be more focused on the power of ELA in terms of its beauty, that language arts can be used to identify and describe beauty in the world and share that beauty with others. The grasp then that goes along with that second half is going to be more poetry focused. This lines up nicely with the start of April, which is National Poetry Month. And then the grasp to round out the quarter at the end will be more poetry focused and really, again, argument focused, but asking students to create 2 different small collections of poems that they find and look for. One collection that they really like, and then argue and describe what makes these poems great and enjoyable. And a second collection of poems, probably smaller, but what poems have you found and come across that you don't like? And again, arguing and describing what about these poems makes you not like them. So again, crafting strong arguments on both sides, but a nice quarter for using ELA, using its power to both describe beauty, to make your point, to convince others to think or believe the same way that you do. So if I can help make sense of any of this more, to meet with your PLCs, to clear things up, to help you plan in a different direction, just let me know. I'm happy to set up a time to hang out. Otherwise, have a great third quarter, and let me know what else I can do to support you.